Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is February 3rd, Tuesday. The last time I did a video was January 13th. That's quite some time ago, and I've been missing in action because I've been moving. I moved from a house into an apartment, and you can imagine that moving from a big space with a garden, a yard, and into an apartment with people living above you and below you. It's quite a different experience, and the unpacking and the trying to find where to put everything is quite a challenge, but my wife is doing a phenomenal job to keep things running smoothly. So today is the first video in quite some time, and I want to review my predictions from back then, from the 13th, and I want to prepare you for the move ahead. I know the markets have been very tumultuous. People have been asking me about it. So tonight, let's get back into the rhythm so that we can all be prepared for what is to come. Kicking off with triple Qs. You can see that over the past couple of months, since December, triple Qs have been moving sideways. And you can also see that my annotation that triple Qs will go to the downside is going to stay unchanged. That's still my prediction. And you might ask, how could you continue to maintain that prediction based on what all the news has been telling you, has been telling us about what's going on with AI and earnings being better than expected, and investments in, all things AI that's the big buzzword, but I don't follow the buzz. I follow the volume and the price. So as you look at triple Qs here, you can see that there's a peak here, okay? You can see that price did poke its head back above the gap zone. But what's key is the momentum down here. There's no change in the direction. The last time there was a momentum change, a change in direction, was right here from the September, October, November timeframe, okay? And I've been signaling for everybody for some time, all of these sharks, to remind us that the sharks are setting us up so that they can get out of the markets, okay? They want you and I to buy in while they liquidate. So that still remains in play. There's no change in the momentum down here. All it is a coiling up of energy. So don't be fooled by what the market makers have been saying, the pundits and the financial news stations, and all your feeds about, where to put your money. Just listen to, actually, you don't even have to listen to me. Follow the momentum, okay? Follow the data. So all the data down here is informing us that the setup is to the low side. So don't go long. Let's switch over to the next ticker. That's GDX. This is the gold play. This was a beauty, in fact. There was a big move in the past few days, but I want to talk about the setup. I talked about the sharks preparing us for the move to the downside. They're telling each other, hey guys, get out, take profit. And what coincided with this sharp rise here over the past month or so, since the end of December, pretty much all of January, was a lot of speculation that gold is the safe play, okay? And that's how the market makers do it. They have to put something out there to get human behavior and psychology to help them find liquidity. They need the shares, they need the buyers to take their shares. So what was funny was, there was a guy that I talked to, in fact, he asked me while I was at work, and he said, hey, I think it's time for me to buy gold ETF because my buddy is doing it. And surely enough, the next couple of days, boom, the big sell. And you can see it in the volume candles down here. Okay, so let me zoom out just to give you a feel for on the big sell day, which was on Friday the 30th, 100 million shares. Okay, so look over here where it says volume. So I'm going to put this here so you can see 103 million shares to the downside. That was the selling. And what's going to happen is it will create a flag, which it's doing. So I'd go up here, go down here. Give me a second as I annotate the flag. Let's make it black, a bit thicker. Zoom in for folks. I'm going to switch to the hourly real quick. There's the hourly. I'm going to extend the flag down like this and add the next part of the flag. Let's see. Give me a second here. Next part of the flag like this. All right, so it's going to be like thereabouts. And then I'm freehanding this. There's no science to it. It's a lot about feel. And it's only been a couple of days. So the clarity of the flag hasn't appeared. But I want to show you what I think it's going to do. It's going to do one of these things. And it's going to come back and retest the top of the gap. Okay. So don't be fooled by everybody saying, hey, gold is the safe play. It's not. It is the play that the market makers want you to do because they want you to rotate. When you have fear, fear is what makes them money. Fear can make both of us money if we follow the momentum and prepare correctly. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to extend this real quick. There you go. All right, so to the downside for GDX. This is not the time to buy in for GDX. Okay, let's go over to Bitcoin. This one is playing out. I made the prediction back, I think it was middle of December. Go back to my videos. I know that on December 30th, this annotation of 58K was written there. I had already written it by December 30th in that video. I don't remember if I wrote it maybe 1 or 2 weeks before. So my prediction has been around for a while. I'm not fixing my annotations just to mirror what the market did today. Okay, that's one of the key things. When you're watching my videos, you have all the evidence of my predictions from weeks, if not months ahead. And I stick with them until the momentum changes. And if I do need to alter my prediction or viewpoint of where I think things are going, I'll tell you that, hey, I was incorrect. But in this circumstance right now, go back to that video because I feel good about this one. December 30th, I predicted 58K. So right now we're at 76. I'm going to move this real quick so that we can see it more clearly. I'm going to just slide it over somehow. I'm not sure exactly how to grab all of it and slide it, but instead, I'm going to just make it bigger. Okay. Actually, here, I'm just going to slide it over just so we can. There. All right, I'll leave it there. So you can see that the general direction is to the downside. This is how I drew the flag on whatever day that was. But the real break, I felt the break was here, okay? But in the end, my prediction is going to be unchanged, 58K, all right? So if you were in long Bitcoin up here, I had notated that the sell signal came. Here's the momentum change. I put the shark here to inform you it's the sell moment. And then as we get down here, the flag isn't real pretty, to be honest, the way I drew the flag. But that's not the point. The point is the prediction. Okay, 58K. It's not time to go back in. There's no significant change. Now, I do want to highlight, there is, if you look at this low part of the RSI and this one, let's zoom in to see if there is, let's see, I'm zooming in real quick. So this one is here, and you can see that the next one is a little bit higher. So we need to be careful. This is beginning to show positive momentum, so I will draw that. And what does that mean to you and to us? That means there might be an opportunity to go long right now. So let's take a look, okay? All right, so that is long, but right there. So the question is there actually support here? Okay, I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's there yet. And the reason is this zone, 76 right here. I'm gonna go back to the left, look at the history at 76. Okay, all right, so there's a couple of points where price touched. There's a touch here. You could use that as a touch. This is a touch. So it's a decent zone of support, in fact. So I don't want to discount it. And in fact, it was also resistance around here. So, all right, there may be a bounce here. Okay, there may be a bounce. All right, well, all that talk about 58K, we might not reach 58K. There may be a bounce here. I think it's possible price will dip a little bit further to the bottom side. Okay, they'll kind of shake people out. If they can't reclaim 76, then further low prices down to 58. Okay, so for now, I'm not changing the annotation. I'm just going to put a annotate here that you can see there's positive RSI down here, diverging from the price action. So to be consistent with my annotations, this is a whale moment, in fact. Okay, so I'm going to put a whale here. Now, as you have often seen, it takes a couple of whales or a couple of sharks before the actual move. So right now, let's wait. Okay, so here's the first whale signal. All right, so Bitcoin, there might be some positive move coming, but we'll have to watch it more closely. Switching over to Microsoft. All right, double top here. I talked about that since November. Drew the flag. And if you go back to my video from December 30th, I had already drawn this arrow down here. And you can see that the movement did in fact come down to the exact, you can't always get it exact, okay? But this is damn close. So go back to my video from the 30th. This is so incredibly close. I mean, it pretty much hit it, okay? So now the question is where to next? You might ask, well, what is this move here, okay? This was a rebound of the small investors attempting to buy the dip. They were excited about earnings and everything, but this was just a rebound because this was part of the shark's ploy, okay? Double top here, all this momentum to the downside, telling each other, hey, guys, let's get out. They were able to get people to continue to stay in, get their liquidity, slow it down, okay, flag it, get people all excited. Now look at the volume down here, okay? They had to get a lot of wonderful news out so that price will move back up because the small guys are buying back in. And then boom, look at this big volume candle here. This is 128 million. Whereas all of these weeks, all of these days, about 20, 30 million, okay? But right here, boom, thank you very much. They took their profits and it's been subsequent selling. Now, since then, I do want to remind us that there is this trend line. Okay, I drew this trend line that goes like this. Let's zoom out real quick. All right, so there's the trend line. Okay, you've got touches here, touches all along here. There's a legit trend line. Okay, some fighting here, and now it's right here. What I want to highlight is it's likely going to be support. And that's just from a consistency standpoint. You have to play the market based on previous behavior and consistency with momentum. So when you look down here on the RSI, you can see positive momentum diverging from price. Price is going down, momentum is going up. So this is a small whale signal to go long. Okay, so if you're wanting to go long, you might want to do it now. But I don't think for now that it's going to be a long-term long. Okay, maybe it's a short-term long because they want to do a gap fill. So let me show you something. I'm going to slide this over just so that it's not super long to the right. And I'm going to draw the gap that was created on this day here. This is on January 28th. And actually, let's zoom in real quick. Stand by. Zoom in. January 28th. Okay, huge gap down. Everybody that had gone long through this time frame here from early January, mid-January upward, you all got holding the bag. So now there's this gap. Okay, so what I think is going to happen is price is going to find support here. So I'm going to annotate this as green. It is going to be support. You can barely see it. Let's make it a darker green. How's that? Okay. So it's a darker green. You can see that. Likely, price is going to find support here. They're going to play it around underneath this trend line, just because that's what they do, to confuse people, people who are not accustomed to price moves. And then they're going to find support. It's going to take a few more days, okay, before price actually reclaims and holds here. And then they may move it up. So I'm just going to draw this next move. They're going to battle it out here a little bit. I'll just kind of annotate it. They'll kind of battle around here, okay? Actually, let's use this one instead. They'll battle here, only to find support, and they're likely going to attempt to do the gap fill up here, okay? By that time, the 200-day will have moved over. So here's the 200-day. It's going to be like something like that, okay? Let's make it blue. That's what I usually make the 200-day. Let's make it darker. Goodness. Okay. So, and that will be resistance, okay? When it hits the 200-day, it'll be lights out. Definitely going to go down again. Let's make this red as resistance, okay? All right. So the question is it time to go long Microsoft? Well, from where price is right now, okay, up to almost a gap fill. So let's say from here up to almost a gap fill. All right, you might be playing with 15% upside, but it's a trade. It's not a long-term move, okay? So I'm actually going to watch this myself. So I'm going to observe behavior along this trend line. It'll dip underneath it for sure. That's how they're going to play it. They're going to make it seem like it's going to drop. Okay, so I'm going to go like that. And then I may take it long once there's a little bit more conviction from a volume standpoint to the buy side above this trend line. And I'll play it up. It'll be a trade up to an attempt to gap fill, okay? Maybe up to this 467, really. Okay, let's go to the next one, Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman has not behaved as I predicted. And so this is one of those moments where I got the call wrong. I did not think that the double top would be this far up, okay? I thought the double top would be similar to what Microsoft did. Let's go back to Microsoft. Double top, one here, and that Northrop Grumman would do the same. Instead, with lower volume, price continued to go up a little bit parabolic. So I'm going to take a moment to study how this upper part of price over here in the past couple of weeks looks from a momentum standpoint. You can see that price is peaking up here, but momentum, comparing it with this one here, is lower, okay? You can see it here. So this peak is right here. And this one is further below it. So I'm going to extend this. So this is growing divergence, which means it's coiling up even more for a bigger move down. Okay. So I'm going to put another shark up here. There's a lot of sharks for Northrop. I'm not long for Northrop. I want to stay away from Northrop long for the time being. So let's annotate this just a little bit. I'm going to move this shark out of the way just so I can see it. So let's grab this guy, move this guy up a little bit so I can see. And I just want to connect the lines a little bit. So if I were to take a line like this, okay, stick it here, extend it, let's see. All right, maybe something like that. All right, not perfect. It's more of a hunch, so I'll make it black. More of a hunch. Okay, so price is above, right here. Okay, with not a lot of volume. Okay, under a million, around a million. Okay, the big sell day is over here at 3 million, so 3 times that. So not a lot of volume. It's not going to hold. So to me, this is a channel. We got a channel here, upper part of the channel. It's going to be resistance. I'm going to remove some of these lines because they're no longer in play. Okay, but the general direction for me is to the downside still to the downside. So I'm just going to draw it from over here instead. All right. And then definitely to the gap fill. So here's the gap, to the gap fill, and the 200-day has moved as well. It's been a couple of weeks. Yeah, moving has been rough from the standpoint of energy, and I didn't even have internet for a little bit, so I had to make sure it was installed, and then I had to find my gear. I don't have my lighting and everything, so it's fine. The main point is to get the video out for you. Okay. All right, that's Northrop. To the downside, don't go long, okay? I know you guys are excited. Don't go long, Northrop. The other rotation I've been talking about is the financials, and my annotations here are continue to play out, okay? I talked about how the shark signals are here, okay? And that the momentum is to the downside, and I made the annotation that, hey, likely it's going to go all the way down to 277. And then price was moving sideways for many weeks here in December. The gap down, okay? What I said was a retest. Didn't quite get there, but it attempted. And then continued selling was the prediction, and it's continuing to do it. So no change in my prediction. If you're thinking that you're going to rotate into financials like American Express to go long, I wouldn't. Okay, this is the moment where they're trying to get you to buy into financial stocks so that they can sell their shares. Same thing with Bank of America. Let's look at that. Yeah, I told everybody, here you go, momentum change to the downside. My shark indicators here, I put them there to tell you, hey, they're getting out. I wouldn't be buying Bank of America. And then I even said, likely what they're going to do is, I thought that they were going to bounce it around up a little bit before they sold it, but instead they sold it and they brought it back to retest the underside. Okay, I didn't draw this today. Go back to my videos from the 13th. This is from the 13th. And sure enough, from the 13th, which was, let me see, I'm looking down here. All right, so my video from the 13th is this candle, okay? And I drew this to say, hey, that's the likely movement. They didn't go up, but they did go down, and they came back to retest as I predicted from the 13th. And so the next move is to the downside. Don't go long, okay? Not changing my tune. It is to the downside. So don't go long Bank of America. If anything, this is an objective short, okay? For those who know how to do that. Let's switch over to Procter Gamble. Okay, this was one of the tickers that I said it is a long opportunity. And I was talking about it, informing you that the whales are buying back in and that there's a double bottom. And I said, hey, it would likely, so the 13th was, January 13th was here, okay? On this candle down here. I said, hey, let's see if price can get above it. And if price can come back down, hit this trend line, and check it out. It did it right here, okay? It actually did it for a couple of days, but this would have been the entry here. And then it would go upward. And it's done that, okay? So if you followed that trade from where I said, wait for it to come back and kiss the trend line, from where it kissed the trend line here, up to where we are now, hey, good for you. 8% trade or so, okay? Now the move is continuing. It's not over yet. I'm not in this trade, unfortunately. I've just been busy packing and cleaning. My wife's been doing a lot of cleaning and I've been working, so it's just a lot going on. Getting my dog used to an apartment versus a house. So let's zoom out a little bit to see if there's a momentum change, if the move continues to the upside. What I see here is no momentum change. The move continues to the upside. So really, keep going. If you're in this trade, ride it. It's going to go. So where is the likely exit? Let's clean this up a little bit. The exit, yeah, I can see this zone up here, 174. So from where we are today to 174, another 11, 12% move, okay? So if you're in this trade, great for you. Now, since I'm not in it, I'm going to look for an entry. I'm going to look for an entry along this trend line here. Okay, so when price comes back down, they're going to bounce it around. They're going to make people nervous. So I'm going to look for an entry anywhere along this trend line. Let's make this a little bit darker. Okay, anywhere along this trend line, I'm going to take a long. So I'm going to watch this one. That's Proctor Gamble. Let's switch over to Palantir. Okay, Palantir. Similar setup as the other tech stocks, but a little bit different. I'm going to zoom out for a little bit on the weekly to show us something. So here's the weekly. Zoom out. Excuse me. Okay. There's a pattern in technical analysis. It's called, oh goodness, it's been a while since I've done this. Let's take a look what the patterns are. It is called, okay, so this is the weekly chart. Each candle is a week. I want to highlight a pattern that I can kind of see here. I want you to imagine it. It's called a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, there's a head in the middle and two shoulders. The head is right here, okay, which is the top part of this move. And then you can see a shoulder here and a shoulder here. Okay, and the way that we would play this, we would use this as a way to predict where price will move, is we draw a few lines here. We draw a line that goes from the top of the head down to where we think the bottom of the torso is, okay? And then we duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate it real quick. Clone. And then move it to the bottom part of it. All right. So at the very least, and it's not perfect because it's just how you want to draw the head and shoulder, okay? So I think at the very least, price is going to move down to this 120, maybe here, 124 zone, okay? Based on the head and shoulder pattern. But really, if you saw my annotation from way back, I still think there's further low prices for Palantir. Tons of low prices coming, in fact. I mean, if you go all the way back to October, okay, this is when the negative divergence began. And I told everybody, get ready, Okay, so now here we are in the daily. Price is just coming back with significant volume here. You can see that the selling is beginning to continue. Today's volume at 112 million. Okay, so everybody will say, hey, it's a positive day. Look, price today went up 6.5%, almost 7% today. Everybody's excited to jump back in the trade so that the sharks have liquidity to get out. Okay, so I mean, that's all it is. So it's them playing us because they want to get out. So further low prices for Palantir. Don't go long now. I mean, here's your 200-day, in fact. Okay. It's lights out, really, for Palantir. So don't go long Palantir. Not right now. There is no momentum change down here to warrant going long. No. Switching to Raytheon. Raytheon has plenty of divergence, okay? But then they have this little bit of a fake out move up here. I'm not going to buy it as a everybody go long moment. It's not. I'm not putting a whale there. In fact, I'm maintaining my downward prediction. I'm just going to slide this a little bit further to the right. Don't go long. I mean, they're selling. In fact, you can see even more divergence here in the short term. Okay. Put this in. But really, this is the divergence I'm looking at. Okay. So don't go long. For those who are in it, be careful. Switching to Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin. Okay. This purple trend line is a significant one. Let's go back to the weekly. Okay. It's a significant one, and I talked about it in the video from January 13th. You can see these annotations that I said, hey, this purple trend line is legit. It goes all the way back. Okay. All the way back to, what is this? This is 2020. Okay. This is at the just before COVID hit. 2020, the peak before COVID hit. And then this has been a trend line that has been maintained all this time. Now what we see from a weekly chart is one top here and a second top here. Look at this. It's a downward momentum, okay, for the weekly chart. If you were to think about it from that double top standpoint, what we do see, in addition, is that this move here with a gap is I would call it a island cluster top. Okay, there's this phrase in technical analysis where there's an island of candles that's not really connected to the rest of them, and it's there kind of as a blow off top. It's the euphoria moment where the last mom and pops are buying back in before the big dump. So I've already talked about it. Okay, the big dump is coming. Despite the happy looking move in price. Okay, so those are all the tickers. This was a long video, but it was a necessary one to get us back on track. For those who have been in the trade based on what I shared many weeks ago, I'm happy for you because you're doing well with your trade. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends and family. Help them protect their winnings and their savings as well. And as always, good luck with your trades.